All right, quick disclaimer. I want to keep this channel family friendly, but I also want to talk about things that matter. And when I talk about things that matter, I get a little passionate. So just a heads up, enjoy the video. Bro, I am legit losing my mind. I am raging at my screen seeing the advice that these YouTube gurus are peddling. If you're like me and you've spent any significant amount of time trying to beat the YouTube main quest, I'm sure you've seen these guys show up on your feed. They've got titles like, "The algorithm just changed, do this now," or "This hidden niche makes $6,000 in 28 days. I promise you, the worst thing you could do for your journey on YouTube is listen to these guys, and I'm going to prove it in this video. The amount of people who just eat this up in the comments with absolutely zero critical thinking skills is absolutely appalling. And here's the thing, I don't blame the people who are eating this up in the comments. I don't blame those small channels. They're being manipulated by people like these gurus because they're trying to find that one hack, that one silver bullet that'll just change everything for them. But I promise you, listening to these guys is career suicide. I'm going to prove it with some basic facts about what we do know about YouTube, and then also compare the way these gurus talk about YouTube to the way that MrBeast, aka Jimmy Donaldson, the best YouTube creator to ever live, talks about YouTube, because it's night and day different. And trust me when I say, guys, if you listen to these guys and start to think the way they do, it will sabotage both the way you make YouTube videos and the way that you look at the world. This stuff matters, and it's why I'm so freaking passionate about it. I'm going to use a specific video from to illustrate my points, but you can find the same style of slop all over the platform. Recently, I posted a video called "YouTube's new AI algorithm just changed everything. Do this now." And in the first few seconds of the video, he says this: YouTube changed. Not a small update, not a tiny tweak, a complete shift in how the platform decides which videos win and which ones disappear. Channels that were growing suddenly stopped, but at the same time, some channels exploded. Some hit 2 million subscribers in just a few months. The way YouTube works has completely changed for the worse and for the better. If you understand the new rules, you can grow faster than ever. Let's start with the biggest change. And honestly, this one scared me when I first learned about it. The new YouTube AI algorithm is watching everything. YouTube is no longer run by simple code. It's run by something much smarter. It's called Gemini, and it's now in charge of the entire YouTube algorithm. Here's what that means for you and for me, because I'm a YouTube creator as well. Before, YouTube looked at simple signals, tags, titles, how long people watched. Basic stuff. Now, Gemini watches your actual video frame by frame, word by word, sound by sound. It listens to what you say. It reads text on screen. It looks at the images you show. It even picks up on your tone. If your video is meant to be funny, it knows. If you're being sarcastic in your video, it knows that too. The AI algorithm powered by Gemini doesn't read your tags. It watches your content, and it decides for itself what your video is about. Your title matters less than your actual words. Your thumbnail matters less than your actual visual. The AI sees through the packaging and judges the product inside. So now, what you're doing inside the video is actually being watched by the algorithm, and it actually matters. And here's where it gets really interesting. Everything I just told you isn't only scary, it's actually the best opportunity small creators have had in years. Because when Gemini understands your video perfectly, it can finally send your video to the right people. Not random viewers, not the wrong niche, not people who scroll away in 2 seconds. The right audience, the people who are already interested in your topic, the people who normally watch videos like yours, the people who stay, comment, subscribe, and binge. Okay, when I saw this video on the pooper, I literally had a visceral reaction, like I felt sick to my stomach. There is so many issues with this video, I don't even know where I could possibly begin. At worst, this guy is straight up lying about the way YouTube works and has worked. At best, he's self-reporting to the world that he knows actually fucking nothing about the way YouTube works. This line, YouTube is no longer run by simple code. Before, YouTube looked at simple signals, tags, titles, how long people watched, basic stuff. Now, Gemini watches your actual video frame by frame. Your title matters less than your actual words. Your thumbnail matters less than actual visuals. Bro, there are so many layers of bullshit here, I don't even know where to start. For one, people keep thinking about the YouTube algorithm as some boogeyman, but it's really not. The dude who runs the algorithm himself has come out and said, just replace algorithm with audience. That's all YouTube is. It does a good job of serving your video to the right audience. At the end of the day, the audience's tastes dictates the YouTube algorithm, not the other way around. Saying your title and thumbnail matters less than the actual content of the video is actual just straight up bullshit, especially because he's talking about it like a switch flipped and title and thumbnail suddenly matter less than they did before this update. Title and thumbnail matter just as much as ever. Nothing changed about that. The audience dictates the algorithm, not the other way around. If people don't click on your video, they don't watch. It's as simple as that. Gemini can get all the audio and visual cues that it wants to figure out exactly what a video is about. But if you don't click on it, it doesn't matter. Not to mention the astronomical cost of fully analyzing every single YouTube video with Gemini that it would cost YouTube. That would be completely untenable at every single level. Furthermore, most social media algorithms have been AI assisted for years now. Facebook had an AI assisted algorithm as early as 2016 or sooner. Do you honestly think that in 2025, after tens of billions of R&D, YouTube just now figured out that, hey, we could probably use the transcript of a video to help the algo figure out what a video is about? This has mattered and has factored into the algorithm for a long time. The Minecraft YouTuber Dream has gone on record explicitly stating that part of his strategy early on was to restate the exact title in the first 10 seconds because he saw other successful creators do it over and over again. And this was years ago. For years on YouTube, if you didn't upload a custom thumbnail, YouTube would scan the video and decide on a thumbnail it thought best suited the video. This is nothing new. He makes it sound like the former YouTube algorithm was just some idiotic junior level program that could only use tags, titles, and thumbnails to recommend videos to people. It's just downright bullshit. Also, the fact that he even mentions tags here is diabolical. Tags stopped mattering like 8 years ago. I have seen time and time again YouTube videos with no tag, no descriptions, moon to the exact right audience because the YouTube algo is just that good. And it has been for years on end. Those are just some of the issues. Just some of the basic like critical thinking issues. This is a more personal philosophical issue. But in my opinion, adopting this mindset immediately turns you into a victim and a copium snuffing midwit. And I hate that with every fiber of my being. This is the biggest reason why I hate this shit. In another video that Danny posted that is now private, he said, and I quote, "Your videos don't suck. You just don't know how to talk to the algorithm." In my mind, this quote is so diabolical and is comparable to saying, "You aren't out of shape because you never go outside and eat like trash. You just haven't figured out how to eat donuts in the right order." Videos like this just rehearse this dynamic in people's brains that there's some big boogeyman over at YouTube out to get them. And that if they just knew the right things or did the perfect thing for the algorithm, they would make it on YouTube. And it couldn't be further from the truth. I have never in my life seen a huge YouTube creator bitch about the algorithm. Not once. Everyone who complains about the algo are these tiny or mid-sized creators, and every time I go to their channels, I go, this objectively sucks ass. I can't tell who this is for. Your titles suck. Your thumbnail sucks. Your production quality sucks. And here you are coping about how the algorithm sucks and YouTube is out to get you. Bro, YouTube is on your side. If you do well, they do well. If your video is good, they are incentivized to send that video to as many people as humanly possible because they make more money that way. YouTube is not against you. I saw this one sad comment on Danny's vid that said, YouTube is just greedy for money and that's it, or some shit. And I'm like, yes, they are. And that's why they're on your side. They run the biggest user-generated platform on the planet besides Facebook. And all they have to do is make sure the videos that their users create for them get sent to the right people and they'll roll in cash. And that's exactly what they've done since the site's inception. Quit coping and inventing a boogeyman and trying to figure out some secret sauce and just make good videos. You are where you are because of you. That's it. And this is actually very freeing. This is a freeing place to be in. There is no dude in the shadows. It's just you versus you. That's it. And I don't say this out of a place to demean or attack people. I'm saying I'm so passionate about tearing down people's perceived boogeymen because it holds so many people back from becoming great, from becoming leaders, from impacting the world in tangible ways. You have to have an "it's all up to me" mindset. It is all up to me, or you will never, ever, ever realize your potential. Having success on YouTube, talking about YouTube, is different than having success on YouTube. Guru channels are like a hack. There will always be an audience who want to make it on YouTube, and so naturally they're going to seek out this kind of content. There will always be an audience for it. I always take advice from these kinds of people with a grain of salt. It's kind of like selling courses about how to make money and making more money from that than you do an actual business. I'm even more suspect of these people when they never have the channels they succeeded on linked anywhere. It's the exact same dynamic. I've seen tons of these gurus who have very little success building actual enduring valuable content. Instead, they do things like slop farm shorts or hire out production of entire videos to someone else and make money that way. Don't get me wrong, doing this isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that their advice gets presented to people like myself and other small creators who are trying to make actual content around their brand or their image. The people whose advice I actually care about are big creators like Mark Rober, Dream, MrBeast, or other big YouTubers who talk about why they did what they did. That is when I listen, because they're actually living in the trenches. They actually made entertainment content. Making videos about YouTube is a cheat code to views and selling courses, but it doesn't mean you're good at YouTube. This leads me to my final point. Let's contrast the way that these gurus talk about YouTube with the way that MrBeast talks about YouTube. Here's some quotes from MrBeast himself in his leaked internal document. They're just polar opposites of everything these gurus say. I want you to have a mindset that God himself couldn't stop you from making this video on time. If Jimmy is telling this to his employers, do you think he cares about the YouTube algorithm? Like, honestly? Do you think he's sitting there and going, oh, the algorithm changed and our videos aren't doing as well? No excuses. Stop leaving room for error. Check in daily. Receive videos and know weeks in advance if you're fucked, not days. Here's another quote. Critical components are things that are essential to your video. Critical components can come from literally anywhere, and once something you're working on is labeled as such, treat it like your baby. Without what you're working on, we do not have a video. Protect it at all costs. Check in on it 10 times a day. Obsess over it. Make a backup. If it requires shipping, pay someone to pick it up and drive it. Don't trust standard shipping and speak up the second anything goes wrong. The literal second. Never coin flip a critical component. That means you're coin flipping the video, aka $1 million+, and always bring in me or James earlier rather than later. Creativity saves money. This applies to everything every single one of you do. Whether it be finding a crane for a video, deciding prizes, picking locations, finding critical components, or doing the most minuscule thing. Because every dollar we save allows me to give you guys more stability and hire more people to make your life easier. If you want to succeed here, say this 10 times in your head. Creativity saves money. Don't take anything at face value, always dig. One of the common themes you're probably seeing is accountability, and this doubles down on that. Don't take anything at face value, always dig. If someone says something too good to be true, find out why. If it's fishy, investigate. If you need 10,000 pills by next week and you've called 10 pill companies, none have more than a few hundred in stock, but then the 11th company magically has 10,000 pillows, investigate. Are they drop shipping? Are the pillows shitty? Why the fuck does no one want your pillows? Push and get answers. What tends to happen is people think their job is done by finding the 10,000 pillows and just order them, only for us to find problems with them when they arrive, but it's too close to the filming window to fix it. Do not overly trust people outside the company. Invest and verify what they say, or it is your fault if they don't pull through. Own your mistakes. I hate excuses, and I despise with my entire soul when people just try to save face instead of learn from how they messed up. Mistakes are okay. Genuinely, they are, and I expect you to make a lot. Every veteran here has cost me $1 million at one point or another, and you can go ask them yourself if I ever held it over their heads. Nothing comes before prios. When you're being assigned tasks, you should have what we call a prio list. If Ollie says your prios are to 1. Get a Lamborghini under 200K. 2. Get it wrapped in anime characters. 3. Make a custom steering wheel. Then nothing on this freaking planet is allowed to come between you and getting those prios done. If the other team asks for your help and you spend 2 days helping them and fall behind in getting your Lamborghini secured, that's your fault. If the studio is burning down and you stop working to put the fire out and don't get the Lamborghini, that's your fault. Jokes, haha, but seriously, don't let anything come before your prios. Work on multiple videos every day. If you ever only work on one video during a day, you failed as a MrBeast employee that day. Pull all-nighters weeks before the shoot so you don't have to days before the shoot. These are just some quotes. I highly recommend you read the whole thing. But you know what wasn't mentioned once in the entire document? Algorithm. Not once. Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest. I mean it respectfully. Genuinely, I want to see more people take responsibility. That document from MrBeast gets me so fired up because I want to become and operate around people who take that level of personal accountability for everything that happens. You have to have this mindset if you want to change the world. I was in my friend Krabby's stream recently, and no hate to this guy, but he said something like, employees should never have to work all-nighters or something like that. And I get it because I used to think that way. Like years ago when I saw this document, I was like, man, that's like a toxic work environment, or something like that. Something about the all-nighter specifically, I was like, man, that's brutal. But that totally misses the point and betrays the frame that you're in if that's where your mind goes with stuff like this. You don't understand what it feels like wanting to change the world. When you want to do something truly insanely life-changing, world-shattering, history-making, an all-nighter does not matter. It's a small price to pay. Everything is a small price to pay. And I promise you, the people who work for MrBeast are full of people who think that way. They are not victims. They are paid handsomely. They get to be a part of one of the biggest growing media companies on planet Earth, and they get to solve new problems every day. Like, the people who are working at his company are not victims, I promise. People who think that way, who have an actual problem with all-nighters, are not going to end up working at MrBeast. It's just straight and simple. That's how it goes. One final note as well that I'll throw in here. Probably one of the things that inspires me the most to take personal responsibility is Jesus Christ. And he says, take up your cross daily and follow me. That man never once, there was not an ounce of cope in his veins. Not an ounce of cope in his veins. Everything was stacked against him, and still he was the most impactful, influential human being on planet Earth ever in human history. And also, nesting yourself under the Jesus Christ story means that the things that you do have lasting impact, and that there's a God who is using what you do. And so it's not wisdom for wisdom's sake or self-improvement for self-improvement's sake. It's partnering with the God of the universe to bring out a better world. And it endures far beyond when you're dead, right? If this is wrapped under a nihilistic or maybe an agnostic frame, then there's this, at least to me, there's this like kind of sense of despair where it's like, I could build the biggest empire on planet Earth. One generation later, my son could destroy it. Like, imagine you're Gabe Newell and the legacy that you leave is Valve, and your son destroys it after you die. And that's your legacy. That's your life's work. And there's no redeeming that. It's just gone, right? So in my mind, unless wisdom and self-improvement and all this stuff are wrapped under in a bigger story that we're all headed towards, it doesn't matter. At least that's my perspective. Absolutely no hate for people who, think differently, but just want to share personally one of the reasons I'm so motivated by this idea of personal responsibility. Anyway, much love. Peace.